Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 2023 Virtual National and International Goddess Festival. Yay. The month of March is Women's History Month, celebrating women everywhere and all their accomplishments. But really, we celebrate each other, everyone, I hope, in this group anyway. And we do it mostly through spoken word and music. How do you become a goddess, you ask? How do you recognize one? Is it seen, touched, felt? Is it a state of being? Is it something that you work on to become? Is there a test? Some unknown knowledge? To me, it is simple. You live and breathe in kindness. Compassion is shown to all. You care for others, not only yourself. You hear the cries of the hungry. You shelter those that are without. You hear with your heart. You do no harm. To recognize a goddess, you must be one. It's a coming together. There is no gender. It's a melding of colors, yet you see none. As we gather today in our virtual socially distanced world, our beauty is in our actions. Our voices are heard and felt. We celebrate each other. We vibrate love. Love cures all the ills that ail us. Welcome, goddesses. Today we celebrate you.
Hello, goddesses. It's beautiful to see your faces. I have two short poems to read. The first one is called Night Goddess Whispers. I still know the news of the night, a wisdom its stillness shares. But once the glare of day overtakes, I think not but of other cares written on the list of day. It's obligatory time until the dark, when after rest, the dreams partially awaken the brain, like a loosened skein that unwinds in woolen loops of half-awareness, teaching the whole body's mind, goddess granted, all senses combined. The second poem and final poem is called Treaties. Confirm for us that we have the good bones of kindness, the just hearts, and generous intents. We want to be seen by you. Understand the peasant's build, the sturdy calves and strong back, the body worn well and for its purpose. Learn to adjust to real beauty when you find yourself in goddess presence. We arrive as we are to do the work of the goddess, to promote peace in the galaxy, as long as it shall take for poetry and laughter to transform us. That's all I know. Thank you.
And thank you, Erine.
Hello, everyone. My name is Zomkhonto Kabadela. I come from Zimbabwe. I'm currently based in Windsor, Canada. And happy Women's Month, everyone. I would love to dedicate you this poem and hope that it inspires you. Remember the next time that you break down, that you're a complex machine, and that the tools that it takes to put you back together again are not made of metal, but soft things that do not weigh much on the scales used by this world to measure our worth. We are boundless, weightless, and your birth was a magical musical note to complete the rhythm of all creation. You are a complex machine. Breaking down is necessary because we are made of very delicate breaths, held together with the silken ropes of extremely fragile heartbeats, each trying to connect to the next with as little heavy breathing as possible. Not struggling for air, but fumbling for a strength that holds together our bodies just long enough to exhale. Because we have a lifelong contract with the trees, a promise that these lungs, although not made of bark, the branches that hold them in place in our chest will suck in each morsel of oxygen and help us proclaim at the top of those same lungs that we are here voluntarily, that we are not forcing this living thing, that we did not arrive in this world kicking and screaming, but that it was the world that started yelling in our faces in a language we couldn't recognize. And when we became traumatized, they charged us for inventing the sign language of love. That in our several attempts to find meaning, life was hurling stones at our engines. And since we are not grindstone machines, we broke down. But those same stones that the world threw at us over time, we used them to build the mountains you see in front of you right now. Because rather than be buried underneath them, we built ourselves a fortress, erected rock statues out of ourselves instead of become stone-hearted. We are complex machines. There are parts of us that cannot be replaced. There are parts of us that cannot be mimicked, small, tiny screws. The mechanics of our being need more than a simple oil change. We repair our brokenness by making poems out of ourselves, wind chimes that dance from the raging feet of our resilient love songs. We are smart, complex machines, putting the ART in artistic, never artificial. Happy Women's Month.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very beautiful poem.
Next, we have Jennifer Browne from Maryland. Hi, Jennifer.
So glad to be here. I have just maybe a slightly different tone, but still relevant to women's experience. This is a poem called Phone Sex. So there I am, folding socks, and he starts talking dirty, trying to turn me on. He's not just talking dirty, he's naked, jacking off, describing everything. He claims my voice makes him hard. I was doing laundry. I'm not wearing underwear. This means to him, I was expecting him to call. Otherwise, it's an ordinary Tuesday evening. Because he describes how it would feel to bend me over the dryer, I'm supposed to pretend that it's happening. I'm supposed to wail as though he's prodding me with that anxious little thing of his. I'm an empiricist. I require proof. So as I quietly try to move pillowcases between the washer and the dryer, clean out the lint trap, and fluff my whites, he comes, holds the phone to his lap, and expects me to hear something. Apparently, neither of us is listening.
Thank you. Hi, Claire. This is Claire Conroy from New Hampshire. We're happy to have you here.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity, and it's so lovely to see everyone. I have two poems. Oh, that's not going to work. There we go. Muse drenched in whispers. A divinity is weaving symbols around a sacred star. Her magic bends water. She's a sex pot of earth and wisdom. Love wove a purple veil for the sunlit river. Shine of the fire fairy dawn's goddess. Our celestial, immortal idol creates beauty in the sunset. Moon, spinning supreme, a spirit spun a surreal prophecy. The fertile ocean is a diva. Our fate has the power of arousal and leaves an intoxicating stain. Silken light escaped the blood. My mouth sacrificed words, but the darkness remains on my temple. We need a rebellion of flowers to cover eyelids and sigh. Embraced by a breeze, she enchanted a starlit woman. I am the muse drenched in whispers, and I've forgotten the kiss of the temptress. Thank you. I have one more poem. About the jazz beat poet Ruth Weiss. Raw roar of Ruth Weiss. To be a German-speaking Jew and 10 years old in the 1930s was a barbed wire fence to cross. Do you go over or under? Any joy in escaping the horror caught on a wire of guilt, ripped a gash of surviving? Joy caught on the wire. Lost to occupation and chased across an ocean clutching Grimm's fairy tales and a broken beloved doll. A collage of cities, New York City, Chicago, and New Orleans is where she learned of San Franciscan fog. Out of that fog, her voice, carried by beats and snaps along with the Kerouacs and Ginsbergs, but they don't publish girls. I'm going to read my books out loud because if they won't print me or read me, then they will hear me. Finally, a lifelong childhood began with words and paint, art, dress up, a world of fairy tales and color. White is all colors. We all have the poem within us. The goddess is within us. The goddess is all colors. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Welcome, Lorraine. We have Lorraine Currelley from New York. Hi, Lorraine.
Greetings, and thank you, Debbie Tosun Kilday and National Beat Foundation, Chrissa Valestro, Paul Richmond, and greetings, fellow goddesses. My poem, Notes from a Loud, All Over the Place Woman. I am one of the loud talking women whose hearts are all over the place, rooted in a thirst for life. Women who love deeply and whose grief, trauma, passion, and sadness are ever flowing like the Nile River. authentic women. Ours is the pain, sadness, and fleeting moments of joy creating our laughter. If you understood, you would join in our rejoicing. We do not silence our throats and sit with folded hands. This language is foreign and does not fit us. We exist between finely carved words like leave us the fuck alone and get the fuck out of our way. Still, you spend your dead hours trying to break and harness our spirits and bodies, resenting our beauty, power, and life force. There are always those professing to know us. We assure you, they do not. Folk are always ready to hush our voices and silence our grief, even at the death of loved ones, as though our grief would end with the silencing of our tears. We find no comfort nor care in your demands, only witness your fears and felt joy. We will not die from our individual and collective grief, even though we have felt at times we would. Our spirit has always sought and continues to seek freedom, giving less than a damn what others think. Nor do we live to comfort their fear. Death will meet us one day when we will no longer reside in our physical bodies, reuniting us with true freedom, resting in the arms of our Creator. Until then, we loud women will continue to live with our sacred moments of unbridled joy, loud and all over the place. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorraine.
Great, great.
Hi, Donna.
Hi, Debbie. Hi, goddesses. This poem is in memory of poet Rita Joe, a Mi'kmaq leader here in Canada. Flowers are closed and bend all nature in its repose. This daughter of our land, whose arms weigh heavy with the many worlds of her people, has penned her last reflection of life, of the world she held dear, the Mandela flowers of hope. She held against all fear the raven cry that led her forth with the strength of Goliath. Her shoulders strong like an oak, a whisper from God. This very moment brought all to an end. 'Tis time for your soul's gentleness of flight and the dragonfly to follow, awaiting to light. Can you bear such delicate want? This is dedicated to my sister, my late sister, Victorine. Women can die gently. She escapes the moon's sudden monthly death, the sun's fiery obsession. She escapes the poet's passionate indigo blots, the terror of reality, the intimacy of history. She escapes the hand of perception, the twisted umbilical cord of rebirth. She escapes necessity and dies gently into thought. Thank you.
Next,
Thank
we
you,
have
Dana.
Edward Currelley. He's from New York, and welcome, Edward.
Welcome. Well, thank you so much. And thank you so much for inviting me and Deborah, Kilday, and Clarissa, and Paul, everyone, thank you so much. I'm going to read a poem. Do we get to read one or two poems? Is it one or two, or I'll just read one? Okay. It's Heartfelt Connection. Last night, my dreams were about you. Yes, dreams, plural. Always in multiples of three. Deep love, fanciful flirtations of love, dreaded ending of love. I've tarried in quest to understand deep love, the attachment, unyielding bond. To reason why we cry for one another, clash, find minds at odds while hearts remain fixed. At moment of forgiveness, it feels like ill-gotten gain. Fanciful flirtations from across the room, your gaze, small wrinkle in your cheek, squinting crow's feet, accompanied by a smile, the curious arched brow, fingertip pointing to the crease in your chin, that mischievous grin, the age of golden shining brightly in your eyes, intertwined fingers and gentle kisses, the unspeakable dreaded end arriving much too soon, physical separation, a farce. The heart is strong. Realization we are no more, yet will always be. Constant examination of reasoning for loss while connection remains. Absence of warmth, the crave for tenderness, the fading of togetherness, the scent of forgotten garments. Sleeping on your side, dreaming of eternal love in plural. Listening to the heart of one that now beats for two. Grateful for damp eyes filled with joyful feelings that will always remain. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Edward.
Hi, I am Bengt Björklund from Sweden. I'm very grateful to be here tonight with all my very good friends, Krista, Paul, and Debbie. And on celebrating women is important, I think. So here are a few poems of mine. So thoroughly boned to the eye, a fish in the bright sun, ready and sought for by poor, a meek, dying, find life in a glass of water absurd. Framed, solicited and wired, I, astringency, low figures find domesticated, walk this estranged I that I am, rolling daily papers into furnaces on the run. I feign custody just to be alive, under boughs of silver. I drown the sound of morning just to be alive again, while solemn men in prayer look for boats on sail. I am the unsolicited one, the unwanted, the meek one, the old man by default, the one crying at the end, lost in a forest of music, fettered by circumstances, fed by the hour of reckoning, lost in halls to come. The illusion of redemption is such an easy way out, suckle and die. There's always new hardware claiming your attention and all of your days until you are finally exhaled in a hot breath. I am the end you will not meet, the circular motion tubular stars will shine for in days of a rusty love, reverting to solidarity for men never wanting to go to war, bells ringing, ringing. I love you in the early morning when soft dreams move you, in the coming of a new day, with chores best left behind. Next to you sleeps the old dog, dreaming of younger days, yelping in her sleep, paws running. Day follow day as it should be. You wake up every morning with an ache and a sense of loss. When you come home from work, you walk out into the garden, even though it's winter and cold. Your children make you proud. They are grown-ups now, living their lives with work and friends, but they still live here with you, close to your aging heart, and I love you more than I can say. It is early in the morning, just before night turns into light. Brittle bones, sticks and stones verify my open window journeying as I gaze at you in silence. Thank you.
Thank you, Bang. Next, we have Nancy Mercado, and she's from New York. Welcome, Nancy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm going to read a piece that I just recently wrote, and it's dedicated to Mahsa Amini, who was killed in Iran because she had a lock of hair showing out of her hijab, I believe. And so I wrote this poem, and it's Women's Month, so I thought it was apropos to read this in her honor. It's called A Halo for Mahsa. My hair intimidates you, the mane that tells the story of my family, what protects my beauty, my crown of glory. My hair intimidates you, the flowing threads sweeping the earth, what I fiddle with day and day, twisting, combing, brushing, twirling, releasing, what dresses me, my braided halo. My hair intimidates you, so much so that you ripped it from my skull, so much so that you left my battered body strewn across a filthy jail cell. My hair, what now blankets my sinless grave. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Next up, we have Anita Caprice. Hi, Anita. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Krista. It's so good to be here. So I just want to say thank you, and it's really an honor to be among such beautiful and esteemed poets. And what I'd like to do is share a piece. It's called Love, Living in One Vibration Energy. And I wrote this piece because the Greeks say that there are 6 types of love. It's more than just familiar or romantic love, that there's 6 types. And I said, you know, I want to learn all types of love, because I thought maybe learning all types of love, I'll be able to learn how to love better myself. So this one is Living in One Vibration Energy, and LOVE, and I hope you enjoy it. Love is pure energy expressed by quality. In reality, we need to believe in love. Realm of heart, mind, soulful rays of color spirit, dream, life, pleasure, vision, vastness, vibes within it. Living in one vibration glove, mani padme To ruminate the light, to contemplate the past. You are sage wisdom pure, innocence divine. The thought that love will scar lies close amid the ego, far away from our heart, not touching our center. The essence of love held, circling inside blessings of philia, honor, and trust first fulfilling. Living in one vibration glove, mani padme The agape judge not, color creeds of all race, culture, nations be blessed, people ever embraced. Awareness of pragma, deep learning over time, building faith in belief. Mine is yours and yours mine. Yearning, burning passion, tides turn, deep eruption, Kokabal, Ertaal, Vesuvius mountain. Bringing forth the princess, ludus we play, tickle, giggle, fresh breath, ageless, timeless, deathless, living in one vibration glove. Mani Padme, Velocia Supreme, assure, aware, accept, within the core being, knowing oneself, content, living in one vibration club. Mani Padme, Mani Padme, Mani Padme, Thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bravo, Anita.
Thank you.
Next, we have Pamela Twining from New York. Welcome, Pamela.
Thanks, Debbie. Thanks, everybody. Good to be here. This is called Naga Road. That last motel had orange walls, a strong mold smell. The Indian couple who owned it peered suspiciously when we checked in, as if we were the only ones they'd ever had to stay. And why on earth would we want to? So tired, a dirt floor and straw pallet would have sufficed. And we flee as first light streaks the sky. On the cusp of dawn, airborne down the highway, 80 miles an hour, you steer the straight road one-handed, unbutton my shirt with the other. Chill morning air makes nipples peak and shiver. I feel your cock swell and set it free. Stroke driving the day, sunrise chasing us west and west. Road unspooling before us like a ball of yarn. Wild cats a chase and pulling the globe of sun behind. Now risen a hot, golden balloon burning the roadsides. Ochre, umber, sienna, taupe, and tawn. Wind whistling snake songs amongst sere, hissing grasses. Songs of transformation. Slipped out of the skin of your desire. Sweet salt of jism on my lips. My hands smear that ocean lotion on my skin. Your eyes unfailingly on the road ahead. Libido, light years beyond mere speed limits. California, here we come. Worked up brazen appetites for breakfast at the Pioneer roadside diner. Too late for truckers, too early for local custom. We have the whole place to ourselves. I can taste you every time I lick my lips. I wonder if the waitress can smell you on me. I wonder if she goes back and runs her hands slowly across the backside of the dishwasher, his biceps beckoning, begging for a salty licking. We leave them to their own futures and reach out again for ours, satisfied, flying along in unrelenting blaze of day, juicy with ecstatic life, streaming west, all previous lives abandoned. The stalking sun becomes the object of the chase. We follow now to his bloody daily death as desert dark crashes sparkling around us. We stop to camp beneath a zillion stars, the long-awaited, slow love-making hours, giving life back to the earth with every thrust. We seed the desert with our sweat and cries. Some other lovers will feel the echoes and pass the Naga magic on. Thank you.
Thank you, Pamela. Next, we have Andy Clausen from New York. Welcome, Andy.
This is about eternity in the afterlife. I don't want 20 virgins or 40 or 4,000 in the afterlife. I don't want a virgin. I want you dancing in my eyes and chest. Courage of my life, all the beauty connection I ever wanted. I have loved wonderful women, terrific, intelligent, open-hearted women. Here on earth, as it would be in heaven. In the post-life, I want you. I don't care if they have angels make one orgate 24/7, intoning perpetually perfect epithalamians, plucking on harps and pious tambourines. I want swing. I want rock and roll. I want bop, even the devil's music resonating. I'll take a bite of that apple, an apple a day, or sometimes maybe 2 times I'll bite into the misnomered forbidden. I'll take it over anything, even hitting the lottery or making a living doing a Rachel Lindsay, a Johnny Appleseed of expansive verse. Some of the, even on tour, able to reverse some of the self's bad. I'll stay here. I'm certain the other great loves of my life will find their dreams in the place beyond the bardos, if it is a place, where justice, peace, and over-the-top joy flourish. As long as you keep loving me the way you do, it's me and you for eternity. I mean, what else is eternity other than now? Why would a man turn his back on the best he's ever known? I've got eternity now. The weather's gone berserk. It's just not the news. Everything is fake. In light of this, is it a disgrace that I chuckle at the subtle ribald humor of your sparkling orbs, hacking away the brambles on the pathways to your heart-mind, through your body, the warm, wet root, 2 shorts and a long, I am dissolving into an open key rain of pulsing, driving gold achieved, returning to the meat we were born in. Some tender, splendidly ironic goof troikies in there, some sharp 11s, some flatted 5ths.
We have Kathleen Hulser from Connecticut. Welcome, Kathleen.
Great to be here among the goddesses. Didn't expect to spend the day in Valhalla, but here we are. I am very aware that goddesses are actually imperfect, so I'm celebrating imperfection in this particular little poem, and the rascally side of goddesses who are often up to no good, even though they're well-intentioned. So the name of this poem is Tin Can Psyche. My tin can psyche, site of industrial accidents, jerry-built brain, collapses during fits of ramshackle recall. A place of oddly timed decay and renewal, colorful remnants of experience spiced with garish emotions. More phantasmagoria than a haunted house, these serpentine innards flaunt originality amidst constant repair work, cheerily performed by serotonin, oxytocin, and wine. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Amie Hyson, and she's from Massachusetts. Welcome, Amie.
Thank you, Deb. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity. I have 2 short pieces. The first one is called Ode to My Barrenness. 3 tiny holes are all that remain of the womb that bore my daughter. Gazing down at my full naked belly, its frowning navel bears a tiny line. Long since healed this place where, in pieces, dissected with laser precision, they pulled my uterus from its aging body. I know that I should miss it, but I don't. I'm sure some would call me crazy. Women who, for their own reasons, cling to their failing anatomy like so much hope. My sisters whose voices cry out Om Namah Shivaya while their bodies sway under the full moon, giving honor to the cycles of their lifeblood. These women may be shocked to know that I do not miss my womb nor its bleeding, and that the full moon is still just as magical as it ever was, even with my now barren anatomy. Lying empty among tall grasses, draped in Luna's eclipsing light, I feel the passion rise in my blood to fill me with power. And this piece is called Shrouded. Radiance shrouded, clouded by misguided dreams gone awry. How can we be of divine resilience, yet still so dulled by human circumstance? Beauty beckons, brings a powerful need to reckon with lost dreams and broken promises. Will that which was lost, which was never even meant to be, ever be found? Why must disappointment surround these dreams? It's a shame to be shrouded this way, for she is indeed the moon, hidden by unbidden aspects of happenstance, forced to crawl while others danced. Bloodied knees and shredded palms, lying awake till dawn, wishing upon each and every star while riding moonbeams of regret and fantasy. Praying for the alchemy of magic to smelt body and bone, like gold over the smith's fire into liquid light that flows effortlessly into oblivion. Darkness continues to dance around the edge of all reason, ever squelching the season of her return. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Next, we have Joanie Sullivan from Massachusetts. Welcome, Joanie.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Today I have one poem and then a little short song. This is dated and a bit hyperbolic, but I think some things are eternal. She is an American woman. She is an American woman with many thoughts that worry her. She is pregnant. Her husband beats her daily. She wanted to have an abortion, but he wouldn't sign the consent forms, even though they are separated. So she drinks a quart of vodka when he leaves to soothe the pain. Then she's convicted of abusing her unborn child and gives afterbirth on a bench of old bleach-white towels in a cell of the local jail. She had a brand new baby and thinks she could be Mother Earth and remembers that a goddess once ruled the planet. She is an American woman with many thoughts that worry her, racial tensions, Stuart murder, and Mission Hill. But she feels safer there than home in Reading, maybe because she watches Bryant Gumbel on the Today Show. After all, he's the white man's black man and the black man's white man. She worries about going to work. They may violate her body, stealing blood and urine, and performing tests on every natural excretion for things like drugs, AIDS, and the appearance of poppy seeds. She thinks she might be an alien, but knows that she is Mother Earth, and she is dying. Now, producing urine and having advanced degrees in math and science are the basic requirements for any job at McDonald's, and that's why she doesn't want babies while the education president is in office. People don't go to school to learn anymore. They go to school to learn how to piss right, and the timesheet is the biggest god in the land of slow-produced productivity. Her heart goes out to dolphins, choking in nets cast by tuna fishers, because when she was 6 years old, she swam with them, but that was only a dream. She thinks the shadow knows what lurks in the hearts of men, but Tinkerbell's lost her sewing kit. Now she wears black to hide her body in the dark. She'd rather be lost in the light than found in the dark. And the thought of Ronald Reagan's face on Mount Rushmore makes her morning sickness worse. She is an American woman, wondering how long can Mother Nature bear this foolish prank. And then I just have one more short round that was a jump rope rhyme when I was a child. When I was in Europe, I had this amazing realization that this was likely an old Cathar song to tell us about the goddess, who is the goddess of union of the male and the masculine and the feminine, the gold and the silver, the classical Jungian conjunctio. Very quick. On a mountain stands a lady, who she is I do not know. All she wears is gold and silver, all she wants is YOU. So jump out, Joanie, and jump in, Debbie. On a mountain stands a lady, who she is I do not know. All she wears is gold and silver, all she wants is YOU.
Thank you, Joanie. Next, we have Linda Wlodyka, okay, from Massachusetts. Welcome, Linda.
Hi, Debbie and Krista and Paul and all the goddess people who are attending. The name of my poem is Calling Card, and it's really a plea from women to be treated the way they should. Calling Card. William Wordsworth said, "The world is too much with us. Am I too much for this world?" Where integrity is written off as a misnomer, empathy a weakness, judicious thought a dream. I hide from the window's light as it passes through clear glass panes, allows my fleeting fancies to reflect, refract, refrain. Pure and unadulterated respect, will it be tolerated? Is there compromise in the name of kindness? These shoes we walk in, do they share a stranger's feet? A mile is not enough, a lifetime too long. Sensibility, is it treasured? Liability, is it cautionary? As we hang in the balance, shouldn't trust plus authenticity equal comfort? Blood flows like a rushing river through my veins during melt season. Am I here for a mission? Yes. If you listen closely, you can hear a subtle drip, like melting ice, like seeping red wine, like an enigmatic lilting voice. If the world and I are way too much, may this be my calling card. A scepter, an olive branch, an ancient exotic gilded trinket, excavated from a humble Egyptian goddess's tomb. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Now we have Annie Petrie Sauter, and she's in Colorado. Welcome, Annie.
Hi, Debbie. Hi, everybody. Thanks for doing this. I was so worried I wasn't going to have any electricity or water or anything. Yesterday, we did not have those things. Today, it's all sunny and somebody shoveled the edge of my roof, so I'm happy. I'm going to read, I saw in the news that there's places in the world where cell phones are so ubiquitous, even among starving people. They have a cell phone, but no food. So this is called A Bag of Lentils for Your Phone. Everybody has a cell phone. You can't eat it. It has no nutritional value. Social media isn't a platform. It's the foundation of a scaffold where you can hang yourself. So please do. Social media isn't for everybody. And if you need it, you probably should sincerely look into moving. There's no connection. The internet is down. It's on its knees. Kiss my toes, you binary thing. I'm pulling the plug, removing the cap. The alcohol highway is flowing, less congested, no single lane, only for broadband construction. Who are you? Women who jam my face into mediocrity, all greasy and puke-faced with the jizz of morons. I thought I wanted it, but no, I don't. You can come to yourself. I don't want it anymore. You will broadcast your seedless grapes, it seems, to any packaged image. How do you know what she thinks, what she feels? what she knows, what she smells like, what kind of mind she has, or do you even care, or do you only know if you need more tokens or any kind of response? Wash your hands before you breathe, you rinse, repeat. I guess you need the 21st century equivalent of a roll of quarters. No, my slots are full. Thanks. Some kid apparently filled them with lentils, so I'm good. And this one is called, I saw this thing, it was called, it's a little refrigerator magnet, and it's that thing that Hemingway supposedly said, but then Hemingway supposedly didn't really say that. Right drunk, edit sober. And I haven't been drinking, it's been torture. But anyway, it's called 101 Hemingway Drive in 2023. In the cul-de-sac of bitter greens and fine dining, where we all speak in terms of umami and charcuterie, when what we really mean is athlete's foot, dirty sock, talk, toe jam, jive, and a plate of Italian, no longer just cold guts, but a dead cow tongued, then crowned as the fermented winner. All kimchi as a jar of manure, but there's no room for broken, no more glass, blood, or the gastronomics of damaged being as living, no space left for the sugared of heartbroken gas tanks or quick retorts on the merits of a distended liver, dapperly, of course, entitled as any hallmark as good living. The kettle one sits, just how I left it for a year and a half, now only rocked by the occasional of the imbalance of a maniacally overstuffed washing machine, as if any amount of open-crotched fishnets could ever take that place on the altar of eternal abandon. Thank you.
Thank you, Annie.
See you guys. Love everybody. See you soon, I hope.
Next, we have Belinda Subraman from Texas. Welcome, Belinda.
Hi, El Paso. We're 900 miles across, extreme west, okay, and different time zone. Anyway, I'm just going to read one really short piece. It's something I'm coming to grasp with. It's called On My 70th Birthday. It is night, where all is miraculous. Soundscape channel plays space music with nature pics. Uplifting quotes flash by, invoking gratitude for all that's gone. A TV nightlight sparks positivity, life captured in frames. Feline feet warm against me, akashic memory streams through a body in decline. I feel a web of yin-yang in the womb of the world with 3 remotes, straining through fog, anything but stopping, all to have lived this long. Thank you.
Thank you, Belinda. Next, we have Pilar Rodriguez Aranda from Mexico. Welcome, Pilar.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you all, and so grateful to hear you all, goddesses and friends. I'm gonna read a poem. It's still in the works. I wanted to write something new, but it's not finished, and it's long. So I'm gonna just read some of the beginning and of the end. And the working title is, Dear Simone, I understand that you believe this, but I must disagree. Quote, one is not born, but rather becomes a woman, unquote. Simone de Beauvoir. Woman is not simply an idea, and body never deceives. Of course, I am more than body, but without one, I cannot be. Born, with the body of a woman, that I would never deny. Woman is me, but she is not the only thing I feel. My body is my prison as much as my only temple. Power resides within. Let me explain, if I may attempt it. But first, let me ask you, when you hear the word power, do you think about your own or someone else's father? If a man, do you think of your girlfriend, sister, daughter, or wife? If a woman, do you even question what kind of power or why? The right to be and act like a man, are we still doing that? For the basic right to decide over our bodies, that is why we fight. My tolerance for pain and struggle has only made me stronger and clear. At my crone age, my body is like a worn out piece of beloved clothing, and I work hard to keep it healthy, hoping it will last longer than possible, because there is nothing I can substitute it with. Without its sapient flesh and cleansing oxygen, we are nothing. With a body, no matter how impaired, we are as powerful as we can dream. How best to inhabit this caged sanctuary to its fullest potential, be born with no matter what sex, because we can indeed become not who we are told, but whoever we decide. For that, it's worth the fight. I will not step over the others, yet I will never lower my head, nor back away. I will defend myself. No one is allowed to trample over. Woman is not an idea, but is she really so different from man? Simone, I have to say it, I respectfully disagree with you. But many thanks, for at the time I thought you were right. To your words, I owe vital part of my yet to achieve total freedom. For me, it is a thought process that matters, even though it is worth much less than a joyful laughter, a kiss, a caressing hand, chest against chest, an eye watching over, an ear listening to your happenstance and sadness. I have no control. But could you at least listen to my truth, that your power and mine reside in being exactly what we are, rising in flows of acceptance and love from and for body, big or small. That includes both your virile thinking and your womanly us, your male ambition and your pregnant flair. As our sisters in Boston once proclaimed, our bodies, ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Pilar. Next, we have Dane Ince from California.
Hi, Debbie.
Hey.
I'd like to read this piece called On the Altar of the Goddess. 14 miles west of Athens, the wounded house was at war with and weary. The sacrifice no longer offered, the goddess disappearing, no longer exist. Sitting ignored on a roadside stone wall, mouse, coral complexion, eyes full and teary. Where the rivers cross, mustard grows. The word on the rafts, prayers float, and sadness it resists. The sacrifice no longer offered, the goddess disappearing, no longer exists. Conspicuous flowers, Narcissus made for seas and heaven's laughter. Where the rivers cross, mustard grows. The words on rafts, prayers float, and sadness it resists. What is she made of? This is now lotus, thorny rose, misery, loss, battled disaster, conspicuous flowers, Narcissus made for seas and heaven's laughter, emanates from me, the world emanates, this empty hole is filled with nothing. What is she made of? This is now lotus, thorny rose, misery, lost, battled, disaster. What tribute, what honor do you bring the homeless crone on the wall, a hoarse hymn to sing? Emanates from me, the world emanates, this empty hole is filled with nothing. Know her by her wonder, words, work, wisdom, rain, snow, and rainbows clearly. What tribute, what honor do you bring the homeless crone on the wall, a hoarse hymn to sing? 14 miles west of Athens, this wounded house was at war with and weary. Thank you.
Thank you, Dane. Next, we have Amelia, Amie, Matus, and Amelia. Oh my goodness. She is from Wisconsin.
Yes.
Welcome, Amelia.
Thank you, Debbie. I wanted to say thank you to everybody here. A shout out to all the goddesses. And sincerely, Debbie, thank you for everything that you have done. It's especially encouraging me to realize more and more about myself as I've grown to accepting that I too am a woman. So I'm on that journey right now. And this poem that I'm sharing is about some how important it is to talk. I had some issues with mutism after some trauma. So this is about that, and for everyone to join with some good love. When the line is crossed and some see white crest, when you see waves and currents where others have ripples, and every time you try to speak, it hurts to breathe, and your mind is full as your chest, and if you're as if you're drowning in a chlorine light anxiety. All paper dolls, a reminder of the breaking. No, please no. We are hymnals, not hymens. Our relationships change, as do our role, sometimes for play, and others, the quiet ones, who insist on breaking the surface. Flip the script, claim your lyrics. No one's got this. We simply understand how one can sink into the sunlight, fade into gray during the day, closing the shades, too bright, it's blinking. And when we flail, the rest, we cradle, we rock, sand, angels to snow, angel. Because river bedded, we ain't sinking. All of the in-between thinking is validation of belief waning, but we are not sinking. That heavy history is remaking. That heavy history be now changing. That heavy history is real and was and will be always better than the absence of anything, especially you. So feel me. I mean it. Really feel me. Vulnerable bravery is interpreted in absences of time. The tide takes swooping and offers back each time one option. Choose me. I took the pen from the myth of me, put this message in a bottle sent with Godspeed, such as patchouli. Took my time while folding cranes, origami, please unfold me. I've been scattered and scared of needing me so close, questioning my own mythology. If I had written it correct, knowing you wouldn't say it right if it was somebody that I knew, that is, and perhaps regret. Forecasting my before, and from there dressing in my new womanhood. I chose what I missed most. I remembered I was funny, so I got my humor back. I never forget my spirits, though I hold them tight now in my heart like a hope chest. And when possessive spirits and hungry phantoms come, I do not bleed, I do not die, I do not fall. I know they are not ghosts, these ghosts speak. And these do not speak to me, they are but shadows on a wall that overextended its welcome a long time ago. And one day, there will be no more ghosts. There will be no more apparitions. There will be nothing to be afraid of. And that's when it comes. The awareness of your own appearance, that which is and that which isn't coming are lyric lawn. Trauma scattered pulses sharp in every different role, in the memory, in the light, in the knockdowns, in the center of self and source. Such a sweet girl. Fragility and delicate dear, brave. One day, one now, which is of infinite, weighed with purpose as I row with you. Once from ether to fluid to crowing world, we took a breath before knowing we needed to. We cried glory because we had to, and opened our eyes without knowing what we'd see of this atmosphere. We appear even when we don't want to, because our environment is of our essence and essential that we hold on to it. It's our opening, such when I don't know better, I hope to continue doing. And by birth I write, freed from the dead, so there are no closets, much less skeletons. I am here to be full of coming, here construction, because we are already free. Fire on water, sun is as we are, brighter blessed, moon wane, memories tax, pay regards to recollections. Our soft brilliance brightens, weightless currency. The undertow, understandable. There's one way to go, so welcome homecoming creatures. Through the muck and sucked punchlines, belly flop off the hook, and little Messiah skipping stones roll, where eyes greet the beautiful backflips after alter gravity. To find your own narrative, join the story, weary and defeated, keep breathing. An infant to breast feeds back, as do we. It's not fine, it's cold, it's bold, it's brilliant. It's our bodies restful, leaning atop the water with ease and hope as she makes shapes to fit us in, stretch, wings, span, history, legacy, before, and best now. So a note, and baby girl, many circles continue on in tribute. I see you. I see you, you are seen, we see each other. Now the myth of me is whole because it's with you and it's orchestrating. Heartbeat on inklings blink, wild eyes shall rise, broken again a gift. A spring thrown hopscotch, hope inning, baseline, a pulse, alive, alive, alive. We are lifeguards, skydiving swimmers in the shallow skirt lifting. Depth changing with our footprints, the only land we promised is ours. And women, indeed, it is widely kept, a hope chats. Oh, my mama, oh, me, mommy, oh, glory, blessed be, coming in shells, split with Venus out of the traditional and the imagined, a promise, the magic comes out of the traditional and the imagined, not with one, always both. The goddess meets us where we are before falling to our knees. She is a glow without standing on any feet, where we take off again or against where we've begun. The divine gem of the feminine is the poet's tongue after going through many things, chalk-lined, overgrown, discarded, ridden out of, and risen from. I went through things that I could not afford, so my worth is saving up for more. Shifts, please, the source stream, the mother goddess makes love, gives birth, shakes Gaia, rains stick to earth weary. Warriors cry for peace and raise, relieved. A new voice, deeper range, greater amount of truth to speak, because for every chalk that is lined, there be a birth. And it continues on. It is a continuum of creation, a home of fauna and flora, growth around fear, tones of lovely creators we believed into being here. We are grace-bound, my dears. Kindred, kindly, we be grace-bound where the flora finds wings, and the fauna, a deep jungle of limbs twisting all of our stories, fits all of our roots and our Amazons. and our amazings, our rolls and brooms and mystery stirs, fuller gardens, prune less, and you will see them, lush, beloved, unhushed, and truly, finally, Ohana, blessed be our own and home free. So be alive and so badly blessed to dare believe with me. The audaciousness and absolute empowered education of prose's prowess, bemused by playful metaphor, but clearing space for where truth is left and open. Writing breaks lace, opens up expressions, comes in quakes of landslides, magnitude, message, messy from the magma, Pilar. Translations glow, Pilar. Vocal cords chime, pulse progression is quick, honest trachycardia. It be how our body does push-ups and backflips. This prose that knows only the name of this. Vocal trachycardia teaches upbeats, swing something here, the frequencies of each, of all, of you, of me, of everybody that is happy, that is good, that is not, that is all. The spoken language of Howell is singing, waves crashing with a mothering moon. Out front, lawn from fossil, dreams are nodding glory aloud. Oh, time is traveling. I am here. Rock the gods. Thank you.
Thank you, Amie. Next, we have Jane, spoken word. Where are you from?
New York City,
Okay.
Lower East Side.
Welcome.
Thank you. I prepared one piece for today because we are goddesses and we come in all sizes, shapes, colors, denominations, ages, you name it, us goddesses are there. So this is my piece for today. And I want to thank Debbie and Chrissa and Paul and the National Beat Foundation and everybody today. It's just been really wonderful to listen to you. So here's my piece. Liberated by this written word, I am not my past life blurred. Despite what you've heard, my future transferred from a dactylogram of the past. Now at last, I am this body. I am these emotions. I am the immortal story. I am the beauty in imperfection. Escape from the shadows of dark, from a tortoiseshell safety I depart, from an abandoned bus at the station's park. A poet of the street, I'm a motherfucking warrior. I sharpen my pen and I shatter all barriers. Poetry released from an incarcerated mind, floating bars, I did my time. Getting back to my spit with some new shit. Who but the rhymer will bring truths to bear? Who but the rhymer verse tragedies of despair? Pens dipped in the blood of suffering hearts, destroying deceptions, tearing lies apart. Tumbling words that dangle in my throat. Conjuring remedies and antidotes. Bleeding out into rivers of ink, drowning in rhymes of missing links, where heaven meets hell, no time to think. Collecting dreams from broken machines. Melting metaphors and scorching similes, haunting the streets with spoken words, poetry. I spit shit you don't want to hear. I spit rhymes to strip you bare. I'm as harmless as a neutron bomb. I'll hit your shit with chloroform. Because I am your audacious, bodacious, beautiful sister. And you better fucking know, this sister don't whisper. Peace, goddesses. Power to the women.
Thank you. Like, yes.
Next, we have Rescue Potix. Her real name is Susan Justiano. from
Close
New
enough.
Jersey.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you. It is an honor and pleasure to be here among the goddesses and those who support goddesses. When women speak, cuando mujeres hablan. When women speak, we are reminded that kindness is not weakness. Hablamos de nuestra cultura, de nuestra vida, de donde nuestro espacio nos dejan. Articulate with more than voices. When women speak, whispers of wisdom tell that forgiveness does not erase the story. Forgiveness does not erase the trauma. Forgiveness does not erase the memories. When women speak, actions of sacrifice, moments of pain, lifetimes of vulnerabilities, lessons in defeats, encouragement through victories. When women speak, bending but never breaking, cuando mujeres hablan. When women speak, cuando mujeres hablan. We hear a community of stillness. Give voice to the silent. Embrace the wayward. Welcome your voice in a universe of voices. When women speak, the language is based in love, built on a foundation of lessons, force, and creative. Give strength to the otherwise ignored. When women speak, it takes a moment to articulate that the echo we hear is the voice of those who speak back, acknowledging and accepting that when women speak, we are not alone in this vast world of mothers, sisters, friends, daughters, partners. When women speak, our secrets are respected, protected, and eased. When women speak, we never speak alone. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Catherine Katie Johnson, and she's from Oklahoma. Welcome, Katie. I mean, Catherine.
Thank you. Thank you all for including me, and thank you, Debbie and Chrissy and Paul for bringing all the goddesses together. I appreciate it. I'm going to share a little sexy love poem, and it was inspired by a man I met in Times Square on New Year's Eve, and it's called Marion Man. Marion is spelled M-A-R-I-O-N. Marion Man. He's my Rastafarian Marion Avenue man, lives in the Bronx, rocks my socks off me, man. I'm telling you, baby, he works out. He'll work out fine. It's got to work out. I mean, he's working mine. I'm dying to see him again and again and again. I'm flying. Hop that plane, row a boat, take a train, thumb my way across Maine. In the dead of winter, splinter in my toe, I'll go just to see my man's thick black lashes flash. Oh, baby, it's a gas. I'll pack his heat any day of the week. Just give me a peek. Let me see that smile for a while longer and a while after that. Broad shoulders, a shield, plain clothes, uniform cop, a feel of those arms bared to keep me warm. He told me to beep him when I get to town right before he explodes. And his mind goes blank. He said, well, I want to be there for that rattle the walls, do it all episode. So I'm gonna get a ticket, speed my way back to him, swim in his pleasure, drown in his dance, give it a chance. If he turns out to be some jet setter, Air Force brat or fat cat, I can handle that. Just darling, let me handle that. Oh.
Nice.
Thank you.
Next, we have Mary Jennings, and she's from Massachusetts. Welcome, Mary.
Thank you, Debbie. Thank you for having me here, and thank you to all the goddesses. This poem is from a series of poems called the Love Child Ballads, and this one is called The Ballad of the Humor Impaired Woman. She is a pear-shaped woman, ripe for the picking and dumping of mud upon by the two-bit comic, seeking amusement from his humdrum existence. Hey, Miss Snip, why are you so serious? Don't I get a laugh from you? He's read, take a long walk off a short pier right. But he still wants to hide her pride off into the sunset, just because her hormones took a dip. Her womb bore no kids. She lives the values she's been taught. Work hard and reap many rewards. Treat others as you want to be treated. But no matter how hard she works and how much she gives, all she gets is a punchline to the story of her life. She's wasted her graces on one who gets his wit from the sewer, which he casts her integrity in, initially pretending to be in awe of her, thus taking her for a fool. For her, it's about the struggle. If she wanted to find humor in it, she would know where to look, not from the two-bit comic who uses humor to try to shame her for her life choices. She made that choice because the only child she raised was herself, aware early on of denigration, calling itself love. She's better off alone than to be mismatched with one who wants to grind her to a pulp, like the two-bit comic who couldn't get his wife to laugh at his jokes. Therefore, he tries them out on somebody new with similar results. Unlike the wife, she doesn't live with him and won't keep his house for him. She's no fool there. No man needed to make her honest. She made herself honest, which is what he can't handle. Thus the derision he calls humor. The pear-shaped woman bears fruit in other ways and insists you don't let it go to rot. It can nourish you or it can poison you, depending on your constitution. The pear-shaped woman's sense of humor is alive and well, both juicy and dry, tart and sweet, whatever the situation requires. She just doesn't find you amusing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Next, we have Paul Richmond from Massachusetts, who is usually behind the scenes, but he came out. Welcome, Paul.
Welcome. Glad to be here. Honored to be here with all these great writers. I was asked to write this when the incident happened in Iran, and it's called Fighting for Women's Rights. It's a beautiful day, or is it a beautiful night? You want to take a walk in the streets, except there are patrols. Patrols enforcing guidelines, morality police, thought police, taken to re-education centers where women are terrorized and have died. If you're thinking I'm only talking about Orwell's 1984, you would be mistaken. If you think I'm talking only about The Handmaid's Tale, you'd be mistaken. If you think I'm only talking about Iran, you would be mistaken. A majority of women in the world in 2023 are stalked, sexually assaulted, and raped, aren't allowed to decide freely on matters related to their sexuality, what happens to their bodies, having access to contraceptions, having access to legal and safe abortions, free of intimidation, discrimination, and violence. Girls are given away as brides, pay inequity at harassment at work, restricted in their abilities to travel, limited in their opportunities for leadership roles, being in government all over the world. Women are seen as less than. Yes, it has changed in my lifetime, seeing women as equal. Many women have skillfully shown their skills as leaders, yet we have a long, long, long way to go. We are talking about those who you love. Talk about the people that you say you love, your grandmothers, your mothers, your sisters, your daughters, your aunts, your cousins, your lovers, your wife. How can they be less than? Your mother who brought you to life, brought you into the world, who fed you from her body, how can she be less than? When we stop treating women this way, when will we stop treating women this way? If your God, no matter which God you believe in, created everything, yet your religion makes women less than, then I don't believe in it. Yes, you have religions and governments all over the world telling women how to look, how to dress, how to be. Where is the freedom for them to decide? Why are those who bring life to the planet called less than? I don't believe in your religions or gods, governments, and laws that make women less than. For this is Amelia, Elizabeth, Mary Lou, Sophia, Ying, Lynn, Isadora, Gabrielle, for all the women and girls of the world, for future generations. How? By all of us making it happen. We must organize. We need to act now. Women are not less than. Women are not less than.
Thank you, Paul. Oh,
Great.
2023. Next, we have Mimi Germain from Oregon. Welcome, Mimi.
Thanks, Debbie. Thanks, everybody. What a great day of poetry. Thank you. This poem is called In These Wintered Woods. Threaded to this ground like tired blades of grass, wet with winter, I am anchored, weathering. I am bark, then kindling. I am soil warmed beneath the unkempt circle where the pregnant doe sleeps. Here in the solitude of these old oaks, I lie still, listening. The East Coast birds make their plans. Have you heard these East Coast birds? They mourn their losses, exposing their branch, then curl and flutter back into the business of living. But here, I bed down on winter's moss to rest with the uprooted fallen. Coyote sniffs my presence and does not question in this forest of mournful January birds. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have our own Krissa Belisariou from Greece.
Hello, from
Hi,
Greece.
Krissa.
Hi. Thank you. Well, I will read you a poem that has my name, my real name, Chrysula. Chrysula. I saw her every day with her long hair tied back in a bun. When she combed it loose before going to bed at midnight, I was thinking she was a captured fairy. Her eyes were swamp green. She had been married and widowed after 10 years. Since then, she had not touched a man, and no man had dared to touch her. We have our honor written on our forehead, she told me every time I asked her why she stayed alone.
The superwoman had no time for trivia. After all, woman's much vaunted freedom was then, perhaps it still is, feasible through self-isolation. Her life had been limited by family satraps. Her father did not make it. He passed away during the Great Flood. Her big brother anointed her a slave babysitter, and slaves are not going to school. Her teacher was begging for a long time on her family's doorstep so that the 7-year-old girl, her best pupil, not to be deprived of education, but in vain. She had been sold at a bargain price to her drunkard future husband during a night of booze. Her family invited him to see her before her night's sleep. She was 17. They made her marry him. It was not allowed for her to have any objections. They had to make him promise that he would marry her while he was still drunk, because he avoided marriage. Otherwise, the poor girl would meet him the first night after their wedding without knowing anything about him. He died soon, as he was an old, violent man with a weak heart. He mistreated her during their common life because she was sincere and opposed to his strangeness. She reminded him of his youth, when he was healthy and full of life. He was jealous of her strength, her age, her beauty. She commemorated his soul every Sunday in church after his death, because he offered her 2 reasons to continue her struggle. 2 children that her heart cherished, that she raised all alone. The more motherhood bound her, the more it freed her. She was on her own, the only leader of her life. She had no dragoon on her back. None could exercise his power to control her. A lonely goddess who was declaring that she never felt hatred for anyone, that she liked fish because fish swim freely. At night, she was always dreaming of the children she looked after as a child and played with them the games of which she had been deprived. Sometimes I dream of her with a so bright appearance in heaven. She beckons and reminds me of that honor on my forehead that haunts me since I was young. Oh, Grandma, what if I didn't follow your advice? You should have let me be spoiled for a while. You should have let me be happy. You should have let me be free beyond my dreams. Did you get it, Grandma? You were worthy of having homage instead of having rulers in your life, because from your hair hung future galaxies. This earth has always been too little for Eve, who always had to accept that she was created from Adam's rib. She gave birth to Abel, but she is accused that she nurtured Cain. The worst is that she dared to wish to become a goddess by enjoying the sweetness of an apple, and the wisdom of the serpent. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is our CEO, NBPF CEO, David Tosun Kilday from Connecticut. She is the best person I met in my life because she does so many things and she thinks she does nothing. And this is, for me, this is perfect. So I want to, she is my best friend. I want to say it to everybody. Let's listen to Debbie.
Today I'm gonna read something about something that affects all of us in the world. All of us, even the goddesses. And it's mostly about war, which is killing a lot of women, children, men, women, everybody. This is called Let Love Reign. The world was filled with green. Music of birds was the theme. The skies were blue. Trees were sacred beings. Animals roamed freely. Natural selection was the rule. Until that first shot turned the skies from blue to red. Bang. It zoomed through the air, a shower of rain made of metal. A device so cold, it had no specific target. Indiscriminately, it sought its victims. There was no close contact. It didn't see their eyes. It didn't feel the breath leaving them. There was no self-defense. It only brought death, destruction, sadness, loss. Randomly, it hit the innocent, the guilty, the children. None were ready to succumb to its violent fire. The burning strike of death, the piercing bullet, draining their life. Nothing was left but the empty shells, the broken skin, the oozing blood from the heap of cold, colorless flesh. Who do you blame for these happenings? What type of being kills without conscience? Why are these happenings being accepted? Why are we numb to it? Who fights for continued violence? I continue to ask these questions, one victim at a time. What beauty do people see when choosing a gun or any weapon? How do you justify an instrument of death as being your brand new toy or your companion or your feeling of security? Most won't listen to my words. My words are plain. They have no flair. They are a plea for sanity and reason. But people are well conditioned to believe in the idea of kill or be killed. If someone is different than you, fear rules their hearts, so they act cowardly. I remember a past life, a young man speaking his words, sharing his truth. He was one of the earliest victims, only to be dragged, beaten, and tied to a cross made of wood, left to die, wounded and bleeding. He then became a symbol, an excuse to not take responsibility for your own actions. The lie was compounded by saying he died for your sins, as if it was his choice for all of humanity to believe and perpetuate the lies and deception, so that others could continue to destroy, maim, rape, and kill. In modern times, we have continued to destroy our own societies, our own families. We keep finding excuses. We pray for the victims we kill. I meditate with my actions. I breathe in the air. I worship my home, the earth. She is my symbol. She is my goddess of everlasting life. I preach peace, love, kindness. Heed my words, please. They bring gentler times, teach acceptance of our differences, but make an effort to do no harm. Let love rain upon you instead of bullets. I want to thank all of the goddesses today for their words, their music, their vibrations. They have brought a lot of joy and peace to my soul today. Thank you all.
Hi, I'm Sandra Feen, Ohio Beat Poet Laureate for 2022 to 2024. Room search. Is this my room number? A woman at Danbury's Memory Care points to the number 30 on her identification by her name, Evelyn. Though she finishes dessert, her scowl escalates. I explain a name is arranged on each resident's door, along with a nameplate and a shadow box left of the door lever. I offer to look, return to the cafeteria with her answer. Disorientation deepens urgency. She insists I accompany her back to her living quarters, and as if I've missed all the main courses of peculiar behavior in front of me, her brusque caller announces, all the men are reading our lips. I pause. I survey faces. Grins grow bigger like cavities. I'm surprised she threads her arm through mine, and Dad's smile waves large when we exit. Evelyn is spelled in laminated calligraphy on room 30's door, yet this still isn't convincing enough. She implores, how do you know the right Evelyn came to the right room? A shadow box murmurs, last name with first. I question if both are her own. She pulls out ID from her pocket, looks back and forth for a spell, then surmises, why yes, it's a match. We enter her room where things know their placement. On a luminous nightstand, a hobnail milk glass lamp, a 10-piece puzzle of a toddler immersed in alphabet blocks. Beside it, a family photo, names scrawled on the chest of each person. A lapis lazuli quilt and dolphin stuffed animal present themselves on her twin bed. Evelyn asks if her door locks, expresses indifference about a key that unlocks door outside, just whether or not she controls all from within, and can she keep all happy mouths from ever entering.
Line 11. When all I have is earth's sun warming my horizons. Sweet Psyche, tender wings fluttering anxiously. For it is the flight that matters, dragging my aging dreams, persevering in all kinds of weather, reaching heights of Icarus, heights of the supreme. Each creation immortalizing mortality, keeping it alive. Creations blowing everywhere, through my eyelashes, through the skies. Flames and eyelashes becoming one, scorching our weaknesses, guiding lost souls. When all I have is a dandelion pappus to blow, seeds floating through the vortex to the cerulean ethers. For it is the flight that matters. Chasing my windy wishes, releasing the nails of mental prisons, drifting breaths of nature, breaths of freedom, each ideal golden energy sent into pure light. Ideals blowing everywhere, through my heart, through the skies. Zephyr and heart becoming one, subduing the ego to service the higher good. When all I have is efflorescence blooming in my garden, a farmer of senses cultivating the fruit of the gods. For it is the flight that matters, picking my deciduous emotions, turquoise showers reviving withered hopes, chanting priestesses of protection, priestesses of safekeeping, each inspiration soothing upheaval, melodious salvation, inspirations blowing everywhere, through my mind, through the skies, incantations and mind becoming one, blessed with the power of flowing divine energy. When all I have is paper and pencil for some simple words, creating poetry between invisible gods and visible mortals, for it is the flight that matters, rekindling my courageous verse, grateful in defeat and victory, dressing ideas in armor, ideas in silk, each vision a sacred icon in my pilgrimage, visions blowing everywhere through my spirit, through the skies, matter and spirit becoming one, empowering our lives with universal fire. When all we have is the ray of a new dawn in a dewdrop, light triumphing, heralding a new beginning, for it is only the flight that matters. Thank you.
Vermeer's Girl with the Red Hat. The girl with the red hat doesn't live for you. The girl with the red hat didn't dress for you. She didn't know you existed until now. The girl with the red hat is appraising you. She's wondering if you're a threat, and will as long as you're in sight. The girl with the red hat hasn't heard you, has no idea what you might say or why. If your lives were a Venn diagram, the intersection would barely be a point. The girl with the red hat is not a girl. This is not the 17th century, and she is not to be trivialized. The girl with the red hat is her own person. She paid for your respect with her birth. The girl with the red hat is a woman.
Hi everyone. The title of my poem is Mongata, a riddle in 2 syllables. Woman. infinite, diverse, magical, fierce, and so much more. I woke on the melted argent blue water. Aha, my steps on Mongata. The sun scorches sometimes. I bloom into ache. The bruises and the scars rebel amid screaming silence. I take up arms against misery, starlit dreams, and bitter truths. I remain alive, indestructible. Like Phoenix, I know how to resurrect. I spread my wings amid flames and soar.
Hello, my name is Pankuri Sinha. I am a bilingual poet and writer from India. I would like to immensely thank Debbie ma'am for making me a part of the Goddess Festival, Beat Goddess Festival 2023. Deeply and truly honored and delighted. Thank you, ma'am. The title of my poem is For My Darling Daughter, and this is a poem about motherhood. My darling daughter, pardon me, for I have not been able to bring you into this world till now. Not that it's a pretty place or even tolerant, but having conjured you up and having promised you, I should have been able to. But what happened was unbelievable. You see, the man I was with turned out to be a total scoundrel, a fraud, a eunuch, and my love, you don't have to think of him as your dad. At all, you don't have to think of him as your dad at all. It was a worthless guy who began to follow me when I was 19 and going out with a boyfriend for the first time, accompanying us to every dining out and a movie. And then later, he made a drama, a political drama out of simple, organic baby making. Inviting strange breeds of fellow immigrants and economic principles and problems for talking purposes to turn something beautiful into ugly. Stinking of politics or psychological issues, the details of which I'll spare you, my dear daughter. But what happened forced me to look away. And believe me, how the doors were closed for me, one after the other. For any and all opportunities, life, like heavens conspired against us, like heavens conspired against us. God knows why. What have we done? We'll tell you when I find out. Meanwhile, please know that not a day goes by without your thought, and not a day goes by when I'm not blamed for everything that went wrong. Not a day goes by without your thought, and not a day goes by when I am not blamed for everything that went wrong. So that's my poem about motherhood. It's talking about all women's issues around Women's Day, and this can totally happen. So that was a pouring out of my feelings. It's really autobiographical, but it can happen. It happens, you know. Women are fighting for the right over their bodies, so might as well talk about it. The second poem I wish to read is called The Open Secret of My Confession. Everyone knows that no one in their right mind, no one loving and caring and sensitive ever gets so hungry, so desperate, so alone, so lonely in a wedlock as to walk in the open arms of a seducing charmer. Though it's a pretty trying situation of balancing, rather responding to a tug of war between a sulking husband, sulking for God knows what reason or reasons, and for whatever reason or reasons was the sulking, God knows why and the devil knows how, sulking for so long in a manner so bizarre but the trying situation, not in terms of control but comprehension, logic, tolerance, and finally endurance of one's life being controlled would result in such a rebellion of ego before a husband demanding to be pleased, refusing all approaches, caresses, points of reconciliation proposed in a friendly, wifely manner sometimes is a surprise even to the decision maker. The reason remains a secret too, for the rebel and the world pouncing upon to judge, forever presenting a question. No, it wasn't the temptation of a delicious fruit, not even unbearable anger. Was it something in the spur of the moment continues a pathological examination, as the trial simply intensifies and perpetuates about adultery in a foreign country involving different nationality? Arguments complicate as another man simply walks in. Arguments complicate as another man simply walks in, asking the question, can you resist me? But dear friends, there isn't a law preventing a married woman from meeting another man and starting anew. Is that too manipulated against the second sex? So those are my two poems celebrating the Beat Goddess Festival, issues that deal with problematic aspect of a woman's life. And thank you again, and cheers, and happy Women's Day to women all over the world, and also to men. Why don't we become friends? Why don't we become equals? Why do we have to face subordination? Why do we have to face violence, even psychological? Cheers to peace.
So hello everyone, it's good to be with you all for another Goddess Beat Poetry Festival. I wanted to just read two quick and short poems, or semi-short poems for you all, both by me, Carl Nicholas Urso. The first one is called Willow Smith by me, Carl Nicholas Urso. Rock and roll Willow Smith, she fucking rocks, can you handle it? With her kick-ass vibes, her fly style, baby Willow will rock you the Miracle Mile. You should see her and her family on the show Red Table Talk, and her brother Jaden being humanitarians, helping people when they're able on their walk. Yeah, they're walking their walk, kicking ass more than just talk. Willow can play kick-ass guitar and can hit those high notes and bars. Yes, Miss Willow is a shooting star, one that can really see going far. Willow, I hear, teaches people to be who they are, despite their personal struggles. The world knows she's a star. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. The world is taking Miss Willow far, as she rocks on stage, playing her music and her guitars. I love her album's coping mechanism and everything, and I feel everything lately. When you get a chance, you should listen to them. Willow is more than just a crush. Willow is a rock goddess. Willow is breaking through the rocks like a rush. Willow is the storm, standing up for what she feels is right from the day she was born. Willow can definitely make you feel a woman's scorn, for Willow is a rock goddess. So, I just wanted to just read that one, I guess, and say I miss you all, and I hope you guys are doing well, and hope all is well, and miss getting together with you all, and thank you, Debbie, for another opportunity to be published and to read and to be able to be a part of the events and everything. You know, it really means a lot to me. So, bye, everybody.
How many times have I imagined myself? Does this all make sense? To be Lucrezia who bridges shames of some kind under duress of the century-old norms, or maybe I would knew where time begins, perhaps where ends, when I could from above see this all like all goddesses. But I'm simply a woman, which like any honest ones was raped on character or on bodily basis. At least one truth cannot be faked, that what is not to be said is what we have and which we don't give for anything in the world. How many times before the worst happens to me, I knew I wasn't protected, because from the spiritual fatigue, everything will come back to me while waiting for moral upheavals. How many times will we just think how should something be as it isn't and it should have been? For we are in fear numberless times, fearing the one who is not afraid that the terrible darkness will come back to him, for he builds the world of fear.
Thank you so much for having me. I love coming to these events, and it's been a while since I've been performing live, so thank you for inviting me. I'm a little nervous.
How to drive and with resume unrepentant. Resume unrepentant. Did you never drink too much, smoke too much, kiss someone wildly unsuitable, hitchhike, trespass, ride motorcycles, date bass players, drug runners, ex-cons, chain gangs, allow an Italian restoration expert at the Louvre to ply you with wine after being up all night on the Orient Express talking to Irish terrorists? Did you never swim naked, trailing phosphorus in the night sea? Find a bloody handprint on your doorway on Siesta Key, just a mild stalking. Did you never say to yourself, this could kill me, and do it anyway? And again, and maybe again. Did you never sing, laugh, talk, dress loudly, dance, behave badly, love extravagantly and not well, get on a train without knowing where it was going, join a revolution, spend your grocery money on an antique silk tablecloth embroidered with bluebirds, or a nag in the sixth named after a French poet? Did you never greet the dawn in last night's party dress, red high heels in hand, pretend you were someone named Loretta or Blaze, find yourself perched on the twitching shoulders of an acrobatic comedian riding a 5-foot unicycle, on a stage, on a cruise ship, in the rolling North Sea? Sometimes it just happens. Did you never eat too much, juices running down your skin, belly tight like a skin drum? Did you never drink too much, smoke too much, kiss someone wildly unsuitable? No? No? Were you knitting?
You guys can't, because this is by Mr. David Leff, and this is called Catbirds. I'm gonna have to you guys have to hold on here. It might get a little emotional while reading this stuff. I just wanted to have his presence felt here today, so I'm just gonna read you this tonight. Catbirds. I'm up at dawn picking blueberries because a busybody catbirds and I play without a net. Slim, formally dressed in slate gray and black cap. They scold me for sharp chirps, a graying chick from among the tangled branches and dangling berries. Jauntily flipping long tails, they burst from the bush. They burst from the bush, aligning on trees to tease nearby felines with poorly accented rhythmic mewings. When I've picked my fill, they're back with twitchy doings and haltings, rambling warbles filled with squeaks, complaining checks, mews, and shrill cries more conversational than musical. Sovereign squatters, they pluck fruit just before ripe, denying me sweetness despite years of watering, pruning, composting, and fertilizing. Saucily, they insist it's more than compensation for the soothing sweetness of their song. So I'll give it up.
It's just called spring. Cry out in praise of holy salt that runs through woody veins in buds split open on the altar of earth. Colors released from the vault of winter unravel out of green. Azaleas cry out in praise, their holy salt bursts magenta, crimson. Cobalt lilacs hatch from tight-curled haze of buds split open on the altar of air. Yellow forsythia somersaults, gold tulips, vermilion rouge, blaze, cry out in praise of holy salt. Azure hyacinth, indigo crocus, assault the speechless mud, break silence in a daze of buds split open on the altar of the eye. Choruses of color exalt the elements, loud, brief brilliance. They cry out in praise of holy salt as buds split open on the altar.
want to thank the Canton Public Library for having us today and having such a wonderful, beautiful place to hold an event. I'm just an ordinary woman, nothing extraordinary, just plain ordinary. I did what was necessary to survive. My poor beginnings were only poor for lack of the dollar. Instead, I was gifted with natural surroundings that nature provided. Things like clean water, clean air, breathing peaceful surroundings, enough food to satisfy, making me appreciate the thing that sets me apart. I'm just an ordinary woman, working hard to create something extraordinary. I never give up. I keep on creating a better version of myself. I'm not legendary, not living extraordinary. I'm just here living life. My beginnings have only forced me to redefine the word beat, which to me means to keep evolving. I want to thank you all.
Debbie Kilday, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you, all of you beautiful, wonderful people. Take the words out on the screen, take the words of poetry. Love, 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 love.